Hey YouTubers, this is just a quick commentary of the madness I've been seeing in the news. The first up is Porsha Williams of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now Porsha came out and she said when she was 25 years old, she had an encounter with R. Kelly. I guess she said about 3 times. And at first she didn't tell her mother for many years. None of her family or friends knew about it. And since R. Kelly was convicted of, child trafficking and all the other charges, and he's going to be spending a long time in jail, she comes out now and said it happened to her too, where she wasn't in a relationship too long with R. Kelly. However, she said she was an aspiring singer, and I guess her manager contacted his manager and made arrangements for her to be heard by R. Kelly. And she was flown out to Chicago, and she was under the impression that he would, I guess she would get an audition, and then they would take it from there, and he would, manage her career and her singing and etc. But she said when she got to Chicago, she was ushered straight to his house. And she waited for approximately 3 hours. She was shown to the bedroom and waited in the bedroom for 3 hours. Now you tell me, if you're going out there for a singing career and somebody, you thought you were going to go to the studio, you didn't go to the studio, that's red flag number 1. You were taken straight to the house. And instead of sitting in the dining room or living room, you were ushered to the bedroom and was told to wait. That's red flag number 2. You should have been out of there pronto. So I don't understand why. I'm not shaming or name blaming. I'm just saying that some of us put ourselves in harm's way unnecessarily. Now, if I go to a house and, they tell me to wait in the bedroom right away, the red flags are going up. That this is more than just what I came for. This person has something else in mind. Now, she said she waited for approximately 3 hours. And when R. Kelly finally came in the bedroom, he told her to disrobe, to take her clothes off. Red flag number 3. And you shouldn't even have to wait for red flag number 3. You should have been out of there on the next plane smoking out of Chicago. But she said he told her to take her clothes off, at which point she did. And they had a sexual encounter, not only that time, but 2 other occasions. And she said the last occasion, the last time they had a sexual encounter was the last time she saw him, because she said in the article that I read that she heard a young lady being beaten by R. Kelly, and that was it for her. It shouldn't have been it for her. The first, time should have been it. When she was diverted from the studio to the house and then ushered in the bedroom, that should have been it. She should have turned right around and said, you know what, goodbye. I'll just try to do my singing career in another way. This is not the way. But in any event, that's what happened to her. She said she had about three encounters with R. Kelly. And the last time she had the encounter, she overheard a young woman in the next room being beaten. Now, that was a while ago. Now, she's now coming out and said, and stating all these facts, allegedly. Now, in the meantime, from then and now, that was like, what, 20 years or so? 15 years, even if it's 10 years? What took you so long, Porsha? You could have saved all those young women who went through the same thing, that you overheard. Someone being beaten, a young woman being beaten. The first trial, you didn't speak up and said you overheard these things, what he was doing, beating this young woman. And no telling what else you saw and heard, because you said you went there like 3 times. So you must have seen more and heard more. And it took you a while to speak out. But I'm glad you did speak out, because now you can help other victims in this second trial. Right? So it's never too late, in other words. That's what I'm trying to say. At least you came forward with your story. Moving on to the next craziness I saw on television. These are just commentaries, guys. So don't come for me. It's just a commentary. The next crazy thing I saw was this woman by the name of Olivet Smiley. And I mean, none of us, I can't say none of us, I'm just saying a lot of us were not happy how we were raised, right? Because no matter what our parents did, it's always a complaint. When you got to be an adult, even, and especially teenagers, they're never satisfied. The richest kids in the world complain about everything. Oh, I got a Mercedes. I wanted a BMW. Oh, I wanted, a Jaguar, but I got this. It's always a complaint. And especially when you come from an impoverished family or poor family, you got multitudes of complaints. Now, Miss Olivet Smiley, this is, she stated that her mother was not a good mother. She was abusive, and she has a lot of stories on television that points out places and dates and what happened to her as a child. And she was raped by her brother for years, and her mother knew about it and did nothing. And she's traumatized. Let's face it. This is a woman who is traumatized, who has never gotten counseling, and is still going through the trauma of being raped, being neglected, being abused, being starved, and everything else that goes with being a child that is abused. And so she went on to say how much she hated her mother, and her mother is nothing, and then she pinpointed everything that her mother did, and all the men her mother slept with, and her mother had 15 children, etc. And then she, commenced to just cussing her mother out. And I was so disappointed in her, because she's a person who is trying to get her life together. Right now she's in a shelter, and I thought she would use that as a stepping stone to get out of the shelter, get her apartment. She says she wants a studio or 1 bedroom. And kudos to her. I'm sure she's going to do it, because She seems to be a hard worker and is driven for, just better in her life. But to get out on national television and to cuss your mother the way she did, YouTubers, I was aghast. I could not believe anyone can cuss their mother out like that. Now, you gotta remember, you may not like your mother, you may not like the way you were brought up or the things that they did, but always remember, God put your egg in that woman for her to bring you forth into this world. She could have aborted you. Because back then, people were getting abortions left and right. She could have aborted you. Especially when, she has 15 children, or at the time, maybe 9 or so. I don't know where you are on the list. But once, they hit 5, 6 children, the abortions start, happening. She could have aborted you, but she didn't. She brought you forth. And with that deserves some measure of respect. That my mother did not raise me right. She allowed my brother to rape me. She didn't do anything about it. She didn't go to the authorities. She didn't protect me. However, she brought me into this world. I'm going to let God deal with her. That's how I think Miss Smiley should have handled it. Let God deal with her. I am not going to get out there and bash her on national TV because she is my biological mother. And whenever she calls me, I'm just going to hang the phone up. I don't have to entertain her. I don't have to go back and forth in conversation. What my life is, where I am, where I'm going. I don't have to have a conversation with her. I'm just going to hang up the phone, move on with my life. But that's not what she did. She went, it was like a cussing fest. I've never heard anyone cuss their parent out like that. I was so astonished. I could not believe that someone could do that on national TV. So hopefully Miss Olivet Smiley never stooped to that level ever again. Because I think she did it like twice on television. I don't know how many times she did it off television, but I know there's a previous tape of her cussing her mother out when her mother called her. And then this time around, it was I think a week ago, she cussed her out again. And it is, as black people, it's okay having your little YouTube show and but not everything you're supposed to put out there for the world to see. Because remember, once it goes on YouTube, it's there for life. When you're dead and gone, those tapes are still going to be there. So not everything is supposed to be on television for everybody to see. You cussing your mother. I mean, it made you look bad. We understand the depth at which you are in pain. You're in a lot of pain. And I would suggest you get some counseling, even at this stage of the game, this age, because this is something that you are living through, and after those things happened to you as a child, then as a young adult, when you started to dance and, in the strip clubs, etc., more stuff happened, more things happened to you that was devastating. And a lot of those things come from childhood. When you put the way you lived your life as a young adult, it stemmed from what happened in your childhood. That you would hook up with people who would hurt you. And so you need a lot of counseling, and I suggest some counseling even at this stage of the game. And I wish you all the best in getting your apartment. The shelter is not it's just a stepping stone. And don't ever feel as though you have hit rock bottom, because as long as you have a breath of life in you, God can help you to forge ahead and move forward with your life for betterment. And the reason you don't get out there and cuss your mother out. What you do is show your mother how great you are and can be without her help. That you can be something in the world. Maybe not the way society wants it, but for you, you can be your better self. You don't need to degrade your mom to express your anger. You need to go into therapy and express your anger. And therapy will help. It will help. All that anger you have built up inside towards your mom and your family, it will help you. So that was the second thing that I saw that I wanted to comment on. I know a lot of people are going to comment in my inbox and say it's none of your business, mind your business. But it is just a commentary. Just like how I would comment on any other public official. These are just people that I oftentimes look at. And if I see something that's really outrageous, I will comment on that particular subject. Okay? So don't come after me and tell me it's none of my business. Because these are public figures, and anyone can comment on a public figure. The third and last person is Amari DJ Mona Lisa. I saw a couple of videos where I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and she moved from New York to Florida, and Florida was supposed to be a goodbye. So I thought about 6 months ago when she said, sayonara, Florida, here comes New York. This is the place I should be, and this is my home, and the whole nine. And then she got the apartment in Manhattan around Times Square, and so I thought all was going to be well, because coming out of the shelter and then you live at Times Square, that is supposed to be a definite stepping stone, that you have moved up in the world. And then I was looking at the television, and I said, well, let me look and see what else is new with Amari. Then I see where she rented this beautiful house in Florida. Oh, it is a beautiful house. But then the cops are there. And I said, wait a minute. Is there trouble in paradise already? She just got there. And I say, oh my word. Trouble just seems to follow this poor woman everywhere she goes. And so the cops are there. And then the way the conversation went is that her son-in-law, whose name is Theo, he's better known as Theo, he pulled a knife on her son. What's his name? He pulled a knife on, what is the child's name? This young man. By the way, he's one of my favorites because I think he loves his mother without any reservation. He just loves his mother the way she is. And that's the way you're supposed to love a person, in spite of their all the negative stuff that surrounds them. You're supposed to love them unconditionally. And he loves his mother unconditionally. I got the name. Anwar. That's his name. Anwar loves his mother unconditionally, no matter what she does. Also, Destiny. I've been noticing Destiny. She's very compassionate when it comes to her mother. Because when her mother was crying and she was trying to calm her and say, "It's okay, Mona, it's okay," that was so touching. Because it doesn't matter the mental state of your family member, you can show compassion towards that individual. And that is why Anwar and Destiny, I think they're special children, I think. That no matter what their mother does and says, they show compassion. And God is going to bless them for that. But what I wanted to mention about Amari and the moving, I noticed there's a pattern. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know if it's a mental thing, or if she's running from something or someone. Could be. When you move that often, within 6 months you're moving again, one state to the next. That just signals to me one of two things. It's either a mental problem or you're running from someone or something. But unfortunately, when people move around like that, there's no stability for the children. No stability. The harm is being, the harm is in the making, but the manifestation of the harm is going to manifest years from now when they are in relationships and when there's no stability in their life and they can't figure out, why am I so unstable? Well, the seed has been planted now. The instability has been planted for all these years when they were children and growing up, and their mothers moving from one place to the next, in the car, driving from one place to the next, sleeping in the car, sleeping in hotels, can't settle down. Wherever she goes, it's a beautiful place. Oh my gosh, and she tells the world that this is the place, and then within 6 months, she's gone again. That has to be either mental or running from something or someone. And we'll never know. Well, some people know. Some people has diagnosed her. But I will not be so bold. I'm not going to judge anybody unless they come out and say they are clinically X, Y, and Z, clinically have mental issues or whatever. I can't put a label. I can't judge. It is not my position. I can only do a commentary on what I see and what I saw. And what I saw was a person who is very unstable, cannot sit still, like ants in your pants, that kind of thing. If you sit too long, you gotta move, you're itching and you gotta go. That's what I see. It's not only moving from state to state. Now it's from country to country. That is really, I think if I was a clinical psychologist, she would be my case study, because I am fascinated by the nuances in this woman's life, how things happen. No matter where she goes, there is trouble. The cops are coming. The cops are always knocking on the door. And there's a constant move, constant, but I'm just, it's very troubling. It's nothing getting up and going. You're your own person, you're a grown adult. But when you have underage children, they're still not 18, so they're underage children. And you're moving like that with them from state to state and all, and you put it on TV for the world to see. I'm surprised the foster care system didn't remove those kids, to tell you the truth. But it's not good for the children. If not for you, at least think about the impact on the children. They may look fine now, but overall, it will play out in the end, in their coming lives. As they get closer and closer to middle-age adulthood, young adulthood, they're going to see the impact of what you have done to those young girls. And it's kind of sad in a way, because I think people look at her television show for entertainment, but no one is reaching out and say, listen, do the show, but leave the kids out. As a matter of fact, I think there's encouragement to amp it up for the camera. The kids must always be fighting. So it's not surprising to me that cops were out there 2 weeks ago when Theo pulled a knife on Anwar. It's not surprising, because when there's encouragement to amp up stuff for the camera and fight and the encouragement, and as soon as they start fighting, as a grown adult in the house, as the parent, you should be able to split it up. Stop the fight. Not run for the camera and start taping, because that's what we see. As soon as the kids start fighting, here comes the camera. Even when the 3 girls were arrested, YouTubers remember when the 3 girls were arrested, I think it was like a year ago, or less than a year ago, and someone was videotaping from the bedroom window, the girls being arrested, handcuffed behind their backs. But anyway, YouTubers, that is my commentary on Porsha Williams, Amari DJ Mona Lisa, and Olivet Smiley. Not Smiley, Smelly. I always confuse her name, but Olivet Smelly. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share this video, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye. Subscribe button, like, share this video, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.